Welcome you all to Indie Hunting, a new series on my channel where we take a look at games made by independent developers that change the way you think about games as an art form. Interested? Join me in the first entry of the series and enjoy talking about this unique title, Forged in Shadow Torch. Don't forget to like and comment if you're looking forward to more, and enjoy this episode. The best action-adventure RPG titles know when to play their cards, keeping you engaged over hours of gameplay by dealing out engaging combat elements and collectibles over time, to me, is a secret to success. And whether you're locked into a side-scrolling adventure or free to wander in open world, beautiful level design, dynamic energetic scores, and engaging storylines are the building blocks of a great action-adventure like F.I.S.T, Forged in Shadow Torch. F.I.S.T follows the story of Rayton, an anthropomorphic rabbit leading the resistance against a mechanical menace, the Legion, led by Rayton's past companion, Cicero. Joined by a ragtag team of F.I.S.T Rayton sets out to defeat the Iron Dogs and restore order to Torch City, home to thousands of F.I.S.Ts. Typically, I'm not a fan of Metroidvania style games, generally because they creep me the hell out, and I feel like keeping up with where you're supposed to be and revisiting areas that you like to visit is a bit more tedious than it needs to be. That said, I've never played a side-scrolling action-adventure RPG like F.I.S.T, so all of my concerns were based off of a judging by the cover logic, and because of this, I will say I've definitely been missing out. F.I.S.T has definitely turned me on to the genre, and here's why. F.I.S.T had a healthy dose of challenging yet rewarding gameplay. Even on easy mode, you never feel that the enemy encounter was either too easy or too difficult. Each class of enemy requires you to make a different weapon or combination choice, and minor spoiler alert, you'll find that you won't get stuck in a rut using just the fist, drill, or whip. Just when you think you found the most useful attack, a new enemy type or boss will make you wish you divided up your skills points more evenly. Combat feels heavy and brutal, with every combination sending your enemies flying and executions ripping your enemies apart with unique animations. It's easy to feel like a baddie, but it's even easier to get your butt kicked. The difficulty for me went from casual to WTF within like the first 2 minutes of my first boss encounter. I mean, when that sucker Hexapod went from shooting bullets to firing unilateral laser beams across the screen and deploying enemy forces while dive bombing like a kamikaze, I knew I was in for a butt-kicking adventure. But if you're not careful, even the run-of-the-mill Iron Dog henchman could take you out with a well-timed shot. But the fun factor had me coming back again and again with my tail between my legs ready for another beating. The only unforgiving aspect of this game would have to be the save points that you return to when you die. I found that I had to navigate through the later portions of a level where enemies would respawn in order to reach the boss's area again. That said, you always come back for more, knowing that you were just one well-placed attack away from success. Variety is the name of the game in F.I.S.T. This is especially evident in environment and level design. Firstly, let me say that the game is gorgeous. With all settings at max, every detail stood out in vivid 4K at 60 frames per second. Levels where the world would open up to distant cityscapes and snowy tundras and underwater labyrinths is where the game shined the most. I did notice some texture pop in during moments when assets were loading in, like at the title screen between teleportation stations or when entering more open areas of the map, but it wasn't too distracting or unexpected. This game never provides too much of a good thing. This is apparent, especially so in the environments you visit. For example, just as you're getting sick of the neo-punk jazz suite, you're refreshed with the natural environments of a snowy mountainscape. I won't go into any spoilers though, but I wish there was more level variation. The game could have especially done well with more natural environments to contrast the robo-apocalypse aesthetic that gets pretty muddy after a while. Discovery in F.I.S.T is promoted through the clever placement of collectibles and upgrades, and even if you're not into collecting or don't have the patience to return to certain levels with the gear you need to obtain them, you can always purchase upgrades and some collectibles through the notorious Rat Clan. That is, of course, if you have enough change. That leads me to the interesting characters you run across in F.I.S.T. All diverse and motivated by voice actors giving it their all, the characters of F.I.S.T bring life to the streets of Torch City with performances that fit its superb quality of development. From Smokey the Bear to the homicidal rat crime lords, no one feels out of place or annoying. In fact, you long for a little interaction after trudging through the sewers of Joffrey Street or navigating the tunnels of the coastal fortress on your own. In a sprawling world, sometimes a tune is all you have to accompany you on a lonely road or in an epic final battle. Wherever you found yourself, the soundtrack to F.I.S.T was right there with you. I found this especially true along the aforementioned Joffrey Street, a peaceful hub where you can simply stop and listen to the elements of the world at play. And if you're like me, you probably stopped to listen to the quiet jazzy ensemble in the Rat Club, or maybe you came across the lonely guitarist who wanted to share a tune with you. At other times when you're battling droves of mechanical meanies, the hard rock themes made for the perfect approach to accentuate the combat, make you feel like a complete baddie. Sound and world building go hand in hand, and this title is no slouch in either department. All in all, the game is an exercise in restraint. It never gives too much of a good thing, and just when you're getting over any element, it introduces something new, as an action adventure RPG should. Platformer RPG. Okay, give me a break. I don't know how to categorize games like this, okay? It's hard to say that generally everything about this game is high quality, but I wouldn't say it if it weren't true. There were some annoyances, don't get me wrong. Blocking and parrying of attacks is otherwise absent without the using of the gadget meter that refills at its own leisure. The inner city environment grows on you, but it begins to feel stale after a while, leaving you wishing for more adventure than action elements. And lastly, the characters don't grow on you the way you may anticipate. At least they're missing the development that would have made you more invested in the storyline. For example, if they had delved a little bit more into the history or significance of the war that Rayton and Cicero fought in the past together, you may care a little bit more about the relationship. All in all, at around 11 hours of quality content, I believe the experience is worth every penny at $30, and is a steal if you can nab it when a good deal comes along. With all that said and done, I'd like to thank you all so very much for watching this brief little video, and what I hope to be a series of videos called Indie Hunting, where we take a look at games that are sort of under the radar, games that you wouldn't expect to see in a AAA environment, but games that make you think differently about the art form of a video game, and unique art styles, unique play styles are all things that interest me. Let me know what games are you guys playing? What are your favorite indie titles so far this year? There's a lot of interesting titles coming out, a lot of cyberpunk, but also a lot of fantasy elements. But I want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video, and like and subscribe if you want to see more, and Godspeed in return.